Ever feel like you're living life one notification at a time?
Totally. I mean, it's wild out there, right? Phones buzzing nonstop.
Exactly. And Jug actually wrote in asking about social media addiction. Seems like he's feeling it too, so let's dive into that.
Sounds good to me.
What does addiction even mean when we're talking about, like, Instagram, not, something more serious?
Right, right. Well, it's not like there's a set number of hours that suddenly mean you've got a problem, It's more about how much it's messing with your actual life.
Okay, so, like, how it affects things.
Exactly. Like, is checking Facebook the first thing you do when you wake up? Are you blowing off work to watch TikToks?
Joe mentioned feeling anxious without his phone.
Yeah, there you go. That need to be connected constantly. That's a big red flag. And, ironically...
It's supposed to make you feel more connected.
Right. But often you end up feeling way worse after scrolling through everyone else's highlight reel.
It's like everyone else is living their best life and you're, just doom scrolling?
You said it, not me. But seriously, that comparison game can really mess you up. And the thing is...
It's not an accident, is it? These platforms are designed to be addictive.
Bingo! It's all about the dopamine, baby.
Dopamine? Like the feel-good chemical.
The one and only. Every notification, it's a little dopamine hit. And your brain, it loves that stuff.
So you're saying it's not really about willpower. It's like our brains are wired to get hooked.
Think of it this way. Have you ever noticed how the stuff you see online is, eerily relevant to you?
All the time.
That's no coincidence, my friend. Algorithms are tracking everything you do, likes, comments, even how long you watch a video.
So they figure out what we like, then give us more of it.
Precisely. And the more they give you, the more those dopamine receptors light up, and bam, you're hooked.
Okay, so knowing all that, how do we break free? Asking for a friend, obviously.
First things first, you gotta admit there's a problem. You've already done that by reaching out.
Well, Joe reached out.
Right, but you're the one who read it on air. Now, a lot of people find that a social media detox can be super helpful.
Like a total blackout.
Exactly. No scrolling, no posting, no nothing for a set period of time. It can really help you reset your habits and break that cycle of constantly checking.
Sounds intense, but I get it. Like hitting the reset button. But how do we make it last?
Good question. It's not just about quitting cold turkey. It's about building a healthier relationship with social media in the long run.
So what, like setting some ground rules?
Exactly. Limits are your best friend. Use those app timers, set daily limits, or even try those apps that block distracting websites.
I've heard of those. Kind of extreme, but I guess if it works.
It's about finding what works for you. Maybe you designate specific times of day as offline time, like no phones at the dinner table, that sort of thing.
I like that. So it's not just about cutting back, but being more intentional about how we use our time.
Right. 100%. Think about what you could be doing instead of scrolling. What brings you joy? What have you always wanted to do but never had time for?
Right. There's always that one thing. So if someone's feeling overwhelmed, like Joe, where do they start?
I'd say start by paying attention to your triggers. What makes you reach for your phone? Stress, boredom, FOMO. Fear of missing out. It's a real thing.
Right.
Once you know your triggers, you can find healthier ways to cope. Feeling anxious, try a quick meditation instead of opening Instagram.
So simple, but so smart. It's like we forget we have other options.
Exactly. It's all about making conscious choices. Now, you mentioned something really interesting before about social media for work. It's tough to just log off when it's part of your job.
Tell me about it. Do you have any advice for people who are struggling with that?
Definitely. Boundaries, boundaries, boundaries. Try to keep your personal and professional accounts separate. And schedule specific times for work-related social media so it doesn't bleed into your personal life.
That's such a good point. It's so easy to get sucked into work stuff after hours. So if there's one big takeaway from all this, what would it be?
Be mindful, my friend. Pay attention to how social media makes you feel. Is it adding to your life or taking away from it?
That's deep.
Because once you understand how these platforms work, you can make informed choices that align with your values and goals, instead of just being another cog in the machine.
Powerful stuff. Thanks for diving into all this with us. I think we all learned a lot today.
My pleasure. Anytime.